The Toyota Prado isn't your average school-run SUV. It's renowned for its ability to tackle pretty much anything off-road, so we're here to put it to the test. Toyota took us to an off-road course owned by the National Land Cruiser Club at Willow Glen to prove that the revised Prado still has what it takes to thrive in the bush. Now the car may look the same inside and out, but the key change is under the bonnet. Now the engine and transmission are all new in this, and they're being used also as the basis for the new Toyota Hilux and the Fortuner SUV and Ute. The Prado's new engine uses around 10% less fuel to make 10% more power and torque than its predecessor, which is pretty impressive. But the big change is in its refinement. Now it is significantly quieter than its predecessor, something that is really important when coming up against new cars like the Ford Everest and Toyota Fortuner, which will give it a bit of internal competition. Now the Prado remains a force to be reckoned with off-road. The top-end Kakadu model we're driving right now is equipped with hill descent control, automatic rear locking differential and all kinds of goodies, including Toyota's KDSS dynamic suspension system, which basically disengages the roll bars to allow you to get a bit more attitude going off-road and give the car a little bit more ability when going into the rough stuff. Now to put it to the test, we're going to stick it in this crawl mode here and just allow it to have a little hop over what we call these wombat holes. So big drops in the road where the car's getting a lot of attitude, raising and lowering corners of the wheel, and just basically retaining a degree of control without you having to use the pedals at all. So the car itself is just braking each wheel minutely, retaining control of the car so that it doesn't get away with you down the hill. It's a pretty impressive system, and it works really well with the KDSS suspension, which is lifting up and down and basically giving a good degree of articulation, allowing the car to progress without getting stuck over big holes in the road. The Prado remains seriously impressive in the rough stuff, able to tackle bush trails with ease. But these cars spend more time on tarmac than dirt, an area that has not been a strong point for the cumbersome 2-ton SUV. The old Prado was a bit of a noisy beast, but that has gone with this one. It is quite a refined thing and actually pretty impressive out on the open road. Now the new diesel is available with a 6-speed automatic transmission, which is fitted in the car that we're driving now. It allows it to produce 450 newton meters of torque and tow up to 2.5 tons, which isn't massive compared to the 3.5 ton towing that you can get in some of the Utes and Ute-based cars these days, but still pretty good. Now the Prado rides quite smoothly, and if you tip it into a corner, it's not too bad. You definitely do feel the weight of the car, and there's a little bit of steering effort required there, but genuinely it's a pretty grown-up thing that is quite competent to drive. As before, the Prado is a well-equipped vehicle. It comes standard across the range with a reversing camera, touchscreen stereo, 4-wheel drive, alloy wheels with big chunky tyres. The popular VX model, which represents about 75% of sales, now has a satellite navigation system, which is a welcome addition, and the top-spec Kakadu has a rear side blind spot warning alert system. Basically, if you're going to back out of a driveway, it gives you a little bit of warning in case there's a car coming from either side. But no car is perfect, and there are a couple of things that are a little bit annoying about the Prado. To start with, the tailgate. It has a large side-opening tailgate that you have to swing out of the way with a huge tyre on the back that's quite heavy and cumbersome for getting things like school bags out of the back for kids. It's just a little bit of a awkward, dorky thing, but it's not the most comfortable thing to use. People that are into their hardcore off-road driving would like to have a rear differential lock as standard on the car, but you can only have that in the Kakadu model, which costs more than 80 grand. So for your average family who wants to buy a car to get around with and do the odd bit of off-roading, that omission is something that is a little bit annoying to have. Toyota's updates help keep the Prado at the top of its game. It's able to handle the family run and the rough stuff with ease. The new Toyota Prado should remain Australia's favourite large SUV.